What is going on, guys? It's your boy Night Rider 93 back at it again with another video. Now, once again, like the video and subscribe if you're not already. Yes, I know I was granny shifting, not double clutching like I should. Anyways, so of course, you know, me and Nasty 2SS, we pretty much talk every day. If not every day, every other day. Hold on, let me put my camera back. We talk, you know, pretty much religiously. We become, you know, pretty good buddies. So, we was talking yesterday, and, well, before I get that far, I'm going to start with, his name's LS Eater on YouTube. He had a 13... Mustang GT California Special, you know, all that good stuff. So started following him on Instagram, then I saw he had a YouTube, so I started following him. I'll link his video down in the description below. So he pretty much had the setup I want for my car. Twin turbo on 3 performance setup. Okay, well, you know, I've messaged him, you know, and everything, and he made a video last week before last, I think it was last week. He sold his 13 GT, and, you know, I like I said, I follow him on Instagram, so I saw the post of it, and I was like, I wonder what that's all about. So, went, watched his video. Pretty much he got to the limits of the first gen Coyote motors. And then I kind of did my little research to see, you know, what's the weakest point internally. Well, it comes down to the fact of eventually I'm going to have to make a decision. And I'm actually going to title this video, I got to make a decision. Of course, if you know anything about Mustangs, my car, the 11 to 14 is the first gen Coyote motor. Then the 15 to 17 is the second gen, and now the 18 until whenever it's the third gen. 18 being, of course, the best because it's got 4 internals, you know, crank, rods, pistons, cams, all that good jazz. Well, the 15 to 17, you know, got some stuff from the Boss 302, you know, crank, just little minor stuff. But the first gen Coyote motors are pretty much the weakest generation Coyote motors internally. So eventually, pretty much, you know, I was talking to Nasty 2SS, and I told him, you know, my car with the factory internals, safely and dependably, I use that word, I'm not going to say it's going to max out. Safely and dependably, it will max out at about 650 rear wheel horsepower. Now, I don't want to talk about your cousins, nephews, cousins, brothers, girlfriends, daddy, who has a 13 Coyote making 1,000 horsepower on stock internals. Don't care. Bet you don't drive it every day back and forth to work. I'm talking about reliability and dependability. You crank it up, you can drive back, you can drive it to the grocery store if you want to. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you take it off the road, it's just a drag car. That's not what I'm talking about. Dependably, the first gen Coyote motors, you're looking at 650 and that's it. Dependably. Now, I could go into the motor and do, you know, 10 to 20 grand of work, you know, with the pistons and the rods and crank and all that. Now, the 15, the 17 has the crank, and they're rated at 850 rear wheel horsepower, safely and dependably. So, my choices, I thought about this choice yesterday after talking to Nasty. I don't really know. I don't really know where I'm going to stand. I don't really know where I'm going to fall. Now, I've told y'all from day one, from when I started making videos, I'm doing this all, I'm learning as I go. Now, I'm also doing stuff on a budget. Like, I'm balling on a budget. Like I got a race car budget. Like, I'm budgeting. So, I couldn't go and get a 15 or 17. So, eventually, I'm going to have to make a decision. Now, my three choices are be comfortable with 650 rear wheel horsepower, spend the money and upgrade the internals, or upgrade to whatever Coyote car or whatever motor is in a GT. So I'm trying to, you know, it's something I got to think about. Shortstop much, something I got to think about. So, you know, it's something I'm gonna have to like really sit down and figure out, because I can talk about this till I'm blue in the face, and all I'm doing is spitting facts. Like, I'm spitting facts. I'm not talking out my ass. I'm spitting facts. So this eventually, when that day comes that I pretty much max out this motor and I decide what I want to do, it's gonna depend on budget. It's gonna depend on finances. Now, the dropping 10 to 20 grand in the motor or upgrading to a newer one pretty much falls into the same category. It really does. It falls into literally the same exact category, and I wish this Jeep would get off my ass. So it all depends on budget, depends on how my funds are. So if you're looking to get into 11 to 14 Mustang, please be aware that if you seriously want to drive it if you want to drive it on the road, reliable, whatever, y'all know what word I'm trying to say. I'm country, from the backwoods, I can't talk, can't use all them fancy big words. If y'all want a dependable race car that you can drive back and forth to the grocery store, just know that 650 is your limit. Safely. I cannot specify that enough. Safely. 650 is your limit. And honestly, 650 is probably about all you're going to get out of a stock internal Coyote motor anyways. It's not there unless you want to put the money into it. And like I said, it all depends on where my budget is and where I'm at personally. And where I'm at in my life. Now, obviously, if I'm getting a shop or I'm getting a house, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, and I can't get I can't upgrade the motor, but I'm able to trade it in or sell it and put a big down payment on a newer one and just have another car payment, then I might have to do that. It just all depends where I'm at and if I want to start over. Because if I get to that point where I max this motor out and I want to start over, then more than likely I'm just gonna go get a new one. Because everything on this, when I get to that point, everything on this car is gonna be done. Like there's nowhere else. There will be nowhere else to go when I get to that point. There will be nowhere else. It'll be, you know, where it's at. So, and I know most people are like, yeah, I know some people are like, man, you sure have been dipping a lot in your videos. Well, here's one that I don't dip in, because it's such a serious topic that I have to figure out for myself. I can look at the research, I can look at the parts, I can look at this, I can look at that. It all comes down to money. So that's pretty much my choice. Where am I going to be at when that time comes? And when that time comes, I'm going to have to make a decision. And hopefully when that time comes, I will still be on YouTube, because I don't plan on quitting, because I love making content for y'all. And I will respond to this video when that time comes. It may come in a year. It may come in 5 years. It just all depends on where life takes me. So that's it for today. It's a short little video. Figured I'd give y'all a car vlog, but I'm out. Peace.